All right, welcome to the Five Stones podcast, and here we stand again on a beautiful Monday day. Sun's out. Hard to believe it's December.
Next week is Christmas.
Yeah.
It's here.
I am Raymond Modglin, a.k.a. the Real Estate Monkey, and joining me today, or I'm joining them rather.
Yeah. I am Joe Trester, the Real Estate Advocate.
I'm Colin Hedegaard, the Great Dane.
We were waiting for that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about three predictions. Each one of us is going to give three predictions so that we can then visit it again this time next year to see where we're at. So this is like part one. Part two, you got to wait a year for.
Yes. And then we'll have new predictions next year. We'll just kind of keep it rolling.
Yeah. So are these predictions necessarily going to be about the real estate world?
Not one of mine.
Okay.
I think it can be just about anything.
I predict I'll feel better. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
In a year. All right. So, would you care to start?
Sure, I'll be happy to start.
What are you smoking today?
La Flor Dominican,
The LFD?
double Ligero.
The
Nice.
double.
Ligero.
One of our friends
Hello.
got that pissed off Christoph,
Yeah.
which is what we were talking about, the
That's a
triple.
double shot or triple shot.
Yeah, it's the triple shot.
Lots of nicotine.
So,
That reminds me of that Jolt Cola when we were kids.
Oh.
Jolt,
All the sugar and twice the caffeine.
yeah.
That
Our
was their
parents
motto.
loved it.
Now they call it Mountain Dew.
My first prediction is that rates will go down and we're going to have a great 2024. I think it's going to be a good year for real estate, simply put.
We got a good indicator of that last week
Yes.
when the Fed did not raise the rate and actually said that in the coming future that there may be decreases.
Well, the market, the news is saying that they'll probably cut it a few times, but the Fed didn't say they were going to cut it.
No, the Fed didn't say
Fed
they
said
were
they're
going to
gonna-
cut it.
But pausing is a good sign. It's a good sign for real estate. It's a bad sign for everybody that has jobs and lives in the world that their life's about to get shitty.
Yeah.
Sucky. Sorry.
So my prediction is you're going to see a higher rate of foreclosure on commercial property starting probably Q2 of 2024, that you're going to see more and more banks taking properties back because of the not in the office type of work, online shopping. So there's going to be a lot of these buildings that have been waiting. Owners have been waiting for it to come back. I don't think the commercial world's going to come back, and I predict a lot of foreclosures, which the second part of that prediction is if you got cash, I think there's going to be some deals out there for the
I've
commercial
always said cash is king.
in the commercial world. So that's my first prediction.
I like it.
All right. Well, my first prediction is we are going to see about 100 different lawsuits against the NAR before the end of next year. I think we're up to 5 or 6 right now. Some states there's 2 or 3 in each one. I would say we're going to be at about 100 separate ones.
You wonder how many of those are going to actually join the federal lawsuit that came out of Kansas.
Well, that becomes my second prediction. You want me
Oh.
to do my second one as I go down?
Yeah, let's do
Then we'll
this.
go back the other way. So the second prediction is going to be that the federal government is going to get involved and take over oversight for real estate.
Best practices.
Yes, absolutely.
Standard practices. is what
Yeah.
we'll call it.
The NAR will be reorganized and turned into a federal entity, and the federal government will take control. Whether we agree with it or not, we're going to see the beginnings of that next year. The too big to fail mentality.
I wonder how that would play out, much like the CFPB. If there's going to be an oversight committee
I think
that
that's
gets
what we're looking at.
created. They created the CFPB way back in 2010 to oversight the loan world.
Yeah.
So it's not like they haven't done this already.
Banking and lending and all that was
And
put under there. But it was a catch-all for everything.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it
it
could
may
very
be the
well be
place
that
for
that's
this.
where they go.
Yeah.
They
So-
could take over. But I see that's my second part of it, that's going to start next year.
You got another one?
No, you
Oh,
can
we're
go
going
ahead.
all the way back over here?
Well, only because I don't have one.
Well, I'm going political.
Okay.
Donald Trump is going to be convicted of something, and then he's going to reach into his jacket, pull out a pardon that he wrote himself, and then he's going to win the presidency at the end of 2024.
That's a bold prediction.
That's
Do you think that he would have already used that if he had it?
No, he hasn't needed it.
So he's just waiting for the conviction.
He's a likes the theater, the theatrics of things.
Yeah, but being drugged through the mud, I would assume, and I'm not calling your prediction wrong, I'm just saying I would assume that if it were I'd have pulled that a long time ago so they'd leave me alone.
Well, I think their heads will explode if he writes himself a pardon,
Yeah.
which he can do under the Constitution, but it'll be interesting.
Does the pardon have to be while he was acting president?
He can only write it when he's the president. He doesn't have to.
So you think he wrote it?
I think he wrote it when he was president, and he just put it in his jacket pocket for when he needs it.
Yeah, there won't be any questions about that, would there?
I actually
Well,
think
there weren't any questions about 1 million votes being found within 2 hours in one jurisdiction, so why would they question that? Oh,
No, that's
sorry.
true.
Sorry.
they just polled people that voted in that election. I don't know if you saw that poll. They polled 1,000 or 1,100, and 26% of the people that were polled admitted that they cheated in the election.
Huh.
They voted in states that they no longer reside. They collected written ballots for family members and friends and signed them on their behalves.
Well, that seems a little...
Anyway,
All right, number 2 for
My second prediction is that I predict that in the real estate world, you are going to see a big shift from the agents towards more smaller brokerages, if not 1 or 2 or 3 people. That the big box brokerages, because of the lawsuits, are going to either shut down or disenfranchise,
that makes sense to me.
the KWs, the Remaxes, the Berkshire Hathaway. Part of that prediction is also going to be, you saw that the Oracle of Omaha divested himself of a lot of stock here lately to gain some cash, because he knows these businesses are going to be coming up for sale. And I wonder how long it's going to be before he gets rid of the real estate portion of Berkshire Hathaway. 1, to avoid all the problems, and 2 is because I think he's smart enough to see it's probably just time. So my prediction is I think you're going to see the shutdown of some of the bigger names.
I would agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that writing's on the wall. They can't. If the lawsuits continue the way that they have, they can't survive it
Yeah.
as it is anyway.
So prediction number 3, I'll go ahead and start with this
All
one.
right, you start with that one.
Prediction number 3 is I predict that I'm probably going to retire. No. No, actually, I predict a huge growth in a business model in which the Modulin Group already practices, that creates a framework for the agents to do their own business. And that's, I think, was the intent on the way it should be. I don't see a lot of agencies doing that, but I see, in conjunction with the smallering, if that's such a word, of the brokerages, you're going to see more and more band together in a loose configuration, so that there's a central processor for money, a central processor for transaction, thus leaving the agents to actually just do what they do and sell houses.
That might be
I
good
agree.
for everybody.
I think it's a good business model. That's kind of the one that we at the Modulin Group have been working under for several years, where I provide a framework, and as long as they're legal and ethical, that's all it's required. And there's a very small transaction fee, and the agent keeps 100% of the commission, while yet I do all the accounting, I do all the training, I do all the responsibility reporting to the states, and we do this in a couple states already. So I think you're going to see more and more of that kind of co-op kind of thing.
Sounds good.
And by the way, I'm still on my New World.
The big boxes have kind of outlived the need for them, haven't they? I mean, among the liability on these lawsuits.
I think the big box model is going away. There was a company in Bloomington I used to train for. Well, I still do. Matter of fact, I've already scheduled the February. That when I started training 5 or 6 or 7 years ago for them, there were 62. The last time I was there were 12. And it's a big box model. And I'm not going to mention the name. What are you smoking?
I am currently smoking a Bella Ortiz. Another AJ Fernandez, similar to the New Worlds that we smoke.
Yeah, like those as well.
Yep.
Third prediction?
I think by the end of 2024, we are going to have a mortgage school up and running.
I would like to see that by the end of Q1.
So would I. That's
So
part of 2024. But that is
he said by the end, did he not?
He did, but technically anything that would occur during 2024 would be by the end of 2024.
You, sir.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a prediction. I think that's a given.
well, yes, you're right. That's not quite fair.
Well, I think that's just us foreshadowing the next evolution.
It will be a success by the end of the year. It will start in the beginning of the year.
All right.
Okay. Here's my bold prediction, and I'm going to go back to politics for it. I don't think.
Wait a second. Your bold prediction is going to be bolder than Trump being elected, and
Yes.
okay.
I don't think we currently know. I don't think we, with the group of people that are out there right now, we currently do not have the person that will ultimately get the nod for either side. I don't think Biden will get the nod. I don't think Trump will get the nod. I think there's going to be new people that we haven't seen yet that are going to end up taking over and doing this.
I will say history does not show that.
Correct.
The reigning president has never not been given the nod by their party for a second term.
Well, the
In the
caveat
history
being,
of presidency. Now,
just
I'm not
because
saying
they
they
get it,
won.
It doesn't mean that he will have the ability to follow through. That is where I'm going.
That may be true. It may be a health reason. I doubt that they won't put him up as their leading candidate.
They will put him up, and I think he
And hold
and
on.
I think they
hold
might
him up.
physically hold him up, and I think Trump ultimately will probably win most of the electorate going into that. But I think both of them have issues that they're not going to be able to overcome, and they will become the kingmaker for someone else in their party. They will throw all of their support behind.
Did you guys see
Two
the
different
video
people.
with Biden talking this weekend and someone in the audience fell? And he said, let the press show that wasn't me.
That's actually the fastest thing he's thought of in a
That
long
was
time.
actually pretty funny.
So
There's a clip of Reagan years ago. You'd enjoy this, where he's giving his speech at the podium, and you hear it was not a gunshot, but it sounded like it, like somebody dropped a book or
Yeah.
something. And without a beat, he just said, "You missed me," and just kept going.
He was sharp.
So this
Yeah.
rivals that. It was a good comeback from Biden, I will say. He said, "Let the press recognize that was not me." So,
That's good.
yeah, history has always, the sitting president has always been given the nomination for that party.
I didn't necessarily say it'd be a correct
No,
prediction.
I-
I just said it was bold. That I don't think either one of them ultimately will get it. It's going to be someone else.
Interesting.
That is a bold prediction, because that would be history. in
It's
the
going
making.
against my heart. I mean, I'll tell you, we know where my heart is for it.
Well, the good thing is the devil you know. I mean, if we know that it's Biden's going to be the Democratic nominee, we do know that. I mean, we know him, and there should be a way that the other side could counteract
Yeah.
all his political stunts.
I would think the Republicans would be excited to run against Biden. He's got a record. He's old, falls
Yeah.
down,
You would think.
can't complete a sentence or eat oatmeal.
Third prediction?
I did three.
We did 3.
Oh,
We've
we
all
did
done
three.
3.
We've
Yeah.
done 3. Oh. Well, we'd like to hear from you guys to see what
Please.
your predictions would be. And they could be in the real estate realm. They could be anything else that you think is going to happen. Put them down in the comments. Push the subscribe button and like. If you push the subscribe button every time he puts something new out,
Yep.
you will get notified. And there's a couple things going on the channel. I don't know if you guys have noticed. We've got the Mortgage Minute. So we've always got something coming from Colin, and Joe does something,
Real thoughts.
the Real Thoughts. So there's a lot of different views that come out on our channel, and you could be made aware of those real quickly by just clicking the little bell and the notification button and the subscribe button. Right?
Yeah. And also, we have started doing a lot of little short videos for you as well to share. And if you've got friends that you think would enjoy the channel, share that video with them and try to get them excited. We want to hear from you guys, and we want to have more of you involved.
Nothing brings a Christmas party together quite like a real estate podcast.
Yes.
Well, I doubt we're going to be here next Monday, since it will be Christmas Day
Yes.
next Monday.
Which we do want to take advantage of that and say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes, Merry Christmas. We'll see you later. Bye.